Welcome to part 3 of how to take care of your kitchen knives. I'm Jake with AG Russell Knives. Today I'm going to show you how to hone and sharpen your kitchen knife. Now it's really important to have a sharp kitchen knife in the kitchen because as you're cutting it's going to go through easily. If you have a dull one you may need to put too much pressure and that's just going to cause accidents in the kitchen. Much better to have a sharp kitchen knife. Now there are a lot of different devices you can use to help maintain your kitchen knives. You got the butcher steel and you have a pull-through sharpener. You have electric sharpeners and guided systems and stones and different things. But I found the best system, the best kitchen sharpener for your average everyday person is going to be a rod system. This hits several points, which is just better than the other devices. It scores better. It's easy to use, it's easy to set up, it's maintainable, it lasts a long time, it stores really compactly so you can just put it in a drawer, which is really nice. It's not taking up counter space. It doesn't damage your edge like some of the other ones, so it doesn't take off too much steel at one point. And then it gets a really sharp edge. Some of the others might score a little bit higher on one of those points, but none of them score overall as well as the rod system does. Now to start off, you need a table. You can be standing or sitting, either way. Good lighting does help so you can see your knife as you're sharpening it. And then I like to use a little bit of paper. That'll make cleanup really easy. For rod systems, there are two main materials for sharpening your knife. There is a diamond dust encrusted rod, and there is a high-grade alumina ceramic rod. The diamond rod is going to be a coarser grit, and so that's going to be used for your duller knives. And the ceramic rod is going to be your finer grit. It's going to be your finisher. So if you're dull, you start on your diamond and you finish on the ceramic. It's going to be a super fine grit. It's going to finish your knife. It's going to get that final, really fine edge on it. And it's going to be your maintenance rod. So if your knives are kind of sharp, you don't need the diamond rods. You can save a little money and just get the ceramic rods. Now to test how sharp your knife is, you can hold it like this and you're going to run your thumb across the edge. Not along the edge, but across the edge, and that's going to tell you how sharp it is. How grabby the edge is going to give you an idea of how sharp it is. This one's pretty sharp. Another test you can use is cut a tomato, or sometimes easier is to cut a piece of paper, and so you just want to see how well it cuts it. So it ripped it a little bit. It did pretty good, so it's sharp in the middle here. Nice and sharp in the middle. Now what we're going to do is dull this knife on a hard piece of ceramic here, and I'm just going to drag it across there. That's going to dull it super dull. So now I can feel with my thumb here it's way less sharp. It didn't cut the paper at all. Let's try over here. It's barely cutting it. Towards the tip, it's a little bit sharp here. So we'll get that just a smidgen there. There we go. I've destroyed the edge on this, so we're going to start on the diamond rods, and that's going to sharpen it up. So these rods are set at 30 degrees apart. So if you take your knife and you hold it straight up and down, perpendicular to your surface here, you're going to cut that in half to 15 degrees. So we're going to start at the heel of the knife, at the very top of the rod. If you're left-handed, start on the left side, and if you're right-handed, start on the right side. I'm left-handed, so I'm going to be on this side. Keep your other hand on the block to keep it from moving, but keep it on the far end. Don't keep it up here. So we're going to start at the top. We're going to pull back and push down at the same time at a constant rate. And so I'm just going to go down just like this. Now on diamond rods, you do not want to put too much pressure. Pressure is going to scrape the diamond dust off of the rods. So to keep the rods going for a long time, you don't want to scrape the diamonds off of it. They're on there pretty good, but you just don't want to put a ton of pressure on there. Just a little bit, just really the weight of the knife is plenty. So I'm going to speed this up because we're going to do maybe 40 strokes here. So how many strokes do you need? Well, it entirely depends on how dull your knife is, the exact angles involved, how much practice you've had, and the steel will also affect it. So this one is feeling still a little bit dull, so I'm actually going to keep going. All right, let's see where we're at now. You can see we're getting okay cuts on here, so I think we're doing pretty good. We're going to finish up on the ceramics. All right, we finished sharpening on the diamond rods. You saw you were getting some good cuts on the paper. It wasn't amazing, but it was getting there. We're going to finish up on the ceramic. That's going to be your finisher. If you look carefully at your knife, and you're not going to be able to see this on camera, but if you look carefully at your knife, there's some steel dust on there. It is real steel dust, so don't be touching your face or licking your fingers or touching your eyes or anything during this process. And then before you use it, make sure you wash your knife. Very important. So we're going to finish on the ceramics. Same concept, straight up and down. We're going to start with the heel, pull back and push down. It is slightly different from the diamond in that you can actually start out with a little bit of pressure on here. So I'm going to start out with some pressure, and I'm going to go down each side here, and you can see it's leaving a streak of steel down the middle there, and that is going to be just refining your edge. It's going to be honing it to a nice edge. Now as you get more streaks, it's going to dirty up, and so you can turn the rod to a cleaner surface. And that'll renew its sharpening ability there, and you can just turn it every time it gets too dirty. I'm going to speed this up, and we'll get back to you. All right, we're going to finish up the last few strokes here. Slow and steady. Just a nice light pressure. And I think that's going to get us to just about where we need to be here. Some quick tips. If you have a lot of belly, you can round out with the belly there. Just putting your wrist down and drawing it. Other quick tips, if you are struggling to make this work, it may be that your edge is off just a little bit in terms of degrees. Should be about 15 degrees depending on the knife manufacturer, but most of them are shooting about 14 to 17 degrees-ish, so 15 is about what you want to be. So if you're not sure if it's getting it quite sharp here, what you can do is you can take a little bit of Sharpie, go along the edge there on both sides, and then go down a few strokes and see exactly which parts of the edge the Sharpie is being taken off of. And that's going to let you know if you're at the right angle or not. If it's too much material has been removed and it's actually thickened up as it gets farther back here, as it narrows down, it gets to a thicker material. It's no longer at that 15 degrees you're looking for. What you can do for a quick cheat is a pull-through sharpener, the coarse carbide, that tungsten carbide. I almost never recommend it, but for resetting an edge and taking off a lot of steel to just get that edge bevel back on there for you so you can finish up on a ceramic, that might be a quick, easy cheat for you to get you that final angle there. And you can pick up a tungsten carbide sharpener for pretty cheap. I think this is like 12. But that's really only for the people who are struggling with their angles. If you have a damaged blade or your tip is missing, definitely probably want to get a professional sharpener just to finish it off for you, or otherwise you can get a stone. So now we should be ready to go. I believe we'll do a quick thumb test here. We're looking good all around here, so I think we'll get Some nice slices here. It's catching at the tip. Finish off the tip here. If your tip is struggling, you can sharpen just that bit and just kind of focus on the tip. You saw me, if you're watching closely on the fast ones, I did that. I focused on the tip on the diamond as well as this ceramic here. But make sure you finish out with long strokes, that way the entire edge connects and it has one smooth edge. So we should be pretty sharp here. Looking pretty good. So you've finished sharpening it. It's nice and sharp. Make sure you wash it and dry it first. Don't just put it away because it's got little steel dust on it and you don't want that getting in your food. So we finished sharpening. There's steel all over the rod here. Take a rust eraser that we sell. You can get these for $5 and just erase away the steel from the ceramic rod. You don't want to actually wash it in the sink because that will push the steel dust into the rod and it's going to make it rust there. It's going to kind of kill the sharpening on the rod. So you definitely want to use the eraser. With the diamond rod, it is a-okay to just wash that off in the sink. No problems with the diamond rod. The eraser uses a special abrasive and that's what cleans it off. You can see there's little dust everywhere now. That's why I did it on paper, so I can just pick up the paper and dump that in the trash. You can also do it over a trash can. You get the ceramic set for $40, the eraser to keep them clean for $5, so $45 for the set, and that'll keep your knives maintained. That's what you need for the base minimum. That'll keep you covered. You can add diamond rods, so 2 will be an extra $30, so $75 for the ceramic, diamond, and eraser there. You can also, this is on a walnut block, folds up nice. If you want the diamonds to have their own block, you can get that set for $45. Now you may be thinking to yourself, whew, Jake, $45, $75, that's a lot of money. And you're not wrong, it's definitely an investment. But these ceramic rods and these diamond rods are gonna last you a lifetime. They're just gonna keep going and going and going. You will have to clean the rods, and you will have to not break them. But other than that, they're gonna keep sharpening for your lifetime and you'll be able to pass it on to your kids. Like these things will just go on pretty much forever. If you're really on a budget, you can get by with just a pull through. I really hate ever saying to buy these. If you have to though, I understand they're much cheaper. You have this much ceramic versus that much ceramic. It's significant cost difference. And you can pick this up for like $14. Make sure you get ceramics on it though. Don't just get one with carbide. The carbide is not good for your knives, especially long term. If I had to choose, really choose between nice kitchen knives and cheap kitchen knives versus a nice sharpener and a cheap sharpener, I would definitely get the cheaper kitchen knives and the nice sharpener. I think that'll make just such a huge difference. Being able to sharpen your knives properly will really make a big difference. Don't get me wrong, I love my nice kitchen knives, but you can get a pretty decent value. This is a Pure Komachi $12 kitchen knife, and then get a $40 sharpener, and this is just going to keep it so much razor sharp compared to an okay sharpness from a pull through. That's just my personal opinion. This is the Spyderco Triangle Sharp Maker. It's $73.95 base, so it's a little bit more expensive than our base set, but it does have a few more features. It really needs its own video for me to go through all the features, but I'm going to rapid fire a few of them off. It comes with 2 sets of rods, base, a medium fine, and a fine ceramic. They're a triangle. It's got a groove for fish hooks. You can sharpen at a 30-degree angle. for kitchen knives and, in our opinion, regular pocket knives, but on the other side you can also do a 40-degree angle. You can set it up like this for scissors, which is kind of handy. That's not always the right angle for it, but you can also flip it around and pop them in like this, and it's set up as a stone, so you can use it just as a normal sharpening stone as well. Pretty handy. That's gonna wrap it up for this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one. The diamond dust is gonna be a coarser grit than the ceramic. This is gonna be used for your... Struggling here, man. There are two main types of materials for... There are two main... I'm gonna start again. That is steel dust coming off of it, so don't be touching your face or licking your fingers or touching your eyes or anything as I touch my face.